Hello, my name is Jane Brown, and my presentation is on the accurate representation between the newspaper article titled "A Saber-toothed Hypercarnivore in Southern California Existed 40 Million Years Ago" and the literature article titled "Diegoloris, a New Macarandine from Santiago Formation of Southern California and the Relationships of the Macarandinae, the oldest group of saber-toothed mammals." The newspaper article looks at the discovery of a fossil in San Diego of the Diegoloris van Valkenburger. It looks at the evolution of the Diegoloris and how it evolved into the cats we know today as lions and tigers. The Diegoloris is a hypercarnivorous animal, so an animal with an all-meat diet is a fascinating find during the time when mammals were trying to figure out how to survive on such a diet. The article talks about the saber-toothed creature's evolution and how it was affected before and after the current species at hand. It relates to natural selection as it looks at how the teeth on the animal were beneficial for what they ate and where they lived. It also looks at Darwinism as it compares lions and tigers' jaw and teeth to the fossil found during the Eocene period. With the fossil being found in the West, it poses the question if it interacted with the other saber-toothed species. This would help determine how the species has changed over time to fit into its current niche. Hopefully, these findings will help to lead the investigation on evolution occurred in the big cats. The macaradines have the distinction of being the oldest known saber-toothed mammalian carnivores. There are either 4 or 5 named macarandine species, each represented by no more than a handful of specimens. The number is also small because the findings have been very limited. The new macarandine, the Diegoloris from the late Yucatan, and is represented by looking at the dentary, which is the anterior bone from the lower jaw which bears the teeth. It is found in mammals and forms the whole lower jaw. It was compared to the smaller taxon of the Apeltyrus. The specimen found is the first record of a North American macarandine from the West Coast or from any other area outside of Utah and Wyoming, as seen on the map. The dental measurements were taken to the nearest hundredth of a millimeter. In the phylogenetic analysis presented below, the Diegoloris is recovered as the sister taxon to the Apeltyrus, raising the question of why the Van Valkenburger is placed in a new genus rather than the Apeltyrus. There is substantial difference in the morphology of the limited overlapping material of the Van Valkenburger and species of the Apeltyrus. Some of the contrasts, particularly the more expansive mandibular flange of the Apeltyrus, suggest substantial differences in the ecology of the two genera. This is why they are placed on 2 different branches of the phylogenetic tree. By extending the range of the macarandines to the end of the Yucatan, the Van Valkenburger may link the macarandine extinction to the substantial faunal turnover event that occurred near the transition between the Middle and Late Eocene. The newspaper article contains accurate details from the literature article. However, the writing is not as high level scientifically due to the fact that it is trying to broadcast the news to the general public, and so it needs to use catchy words that are going to want to make the reader find out more. It relates the findings to big cats, something the public have some knowledge of, which allows them to think of what this animal may look like. The article only scratches the surface of what the literature article talks about, but as it is linked in the article, the readers can follow it and read more about the topic if they are interested. These are the citations I used during this presentation, which links to the newspaper article and the literature article. This presentation was presented by myself and was made within the context of Biology 182, General Biology of Majors 2, Arizona State University, Spring 2022. Thank you for listening.